look, man.
Look at you, water and this thing.
Come prepare, fuck boy. Hey, look,
This is
Look.
my table, mate.
just leave it be until we're finished.
Welcome back, Natural Red Podcast, also available on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcasting apps. How are we?
Yep, I'm alright.
Alright. Fuck me. Guess what happened on Thursday, mate?
What happened?
Your birthday.
Oh shit, yes, it is your birthday. It was your birthday.
Big 19. It was alright.
Alright. Any partying?
Yeah. Because I'm
Yeah.
also a soccer coach, so I went after that. So
Right.
parents weren't too happy about it, but that's alright.
Your parents weren't happy? Did they throw your birthday?
Nah.
No, then why were they unhappy?
No, just like, because I came home late and had uni the next day. So
Oh.
I missed the first session. So it was only gym, it's alright.
My parent doesn't really care. Yesterday I watched
me.
Chernobyl with Chetan beer.
How'd you find it?
It was okay.
They're
was
sa-
o-
they're
it
saying
was
it's
okay,
the best
look.
series ever. They are
Look.
saying that.
Look, I wouldn't say it was the best, but it was good.
It was good.
It was good. You know, wasn't the best. I've seen better. But, I think,
I reckon it was well made.
well, I mean, it's HBO. Of course it is well made, but
No, but you think HBO, like Game of Thrones HBO, yeah?
yeah. I mean, the quality was, it's the same thing. The recording,
Yeah,
the
but like-
video.
Game of Thrones
But-
are like fancy dresses, but this is like
Yeah,
real
I mean,
Russian, Soviet Union
it's
clothes.
Ukrainian, man.
Yes, and it's
Yeah.
like the clothes they're wearing.
Look,
Do you understand? Because
look.
they're like wearing like old stuff.
all I'm saying is it's good, but I'm a bit sick of this trend of making movies based on past events. Retelling the stories. There was like the Queen. They made him, then made another one. It's like is it like a new trend? They keep making movies or series based on like what happened 30, 40 years ago.
But nothing like that was happened. But they had the Chernobyl diaries, but that wasn't.
That wasn't. It's
Things I started Chernobyl before this year, so it's like, I sort of I didn't want to watch it. I was like, oh, it's gonna just
Yeah.
be like what I started about, and I didn't know much about it. But then I was like, and everyone's like saying this is the best TV show. I was like, okay, I've got to watch this, and it was quite scary. I must admit.
oh, not really. It's pretty disappointing.
What the?
Look,
Disappointing.
Look, I think people hyped it a bit too much for me. I went in with a lot of expectation and it just didn't meet those for me. It was okay.
I watched it last week.
It was good. I watched it last night. My memory is fresh, but I feel like the story dragged on a bit too much. They could have made it with 4 episodes, maybe even just one movie, 2 hours. But a series like a 5-episode series was a bit too much.
It was about 5 hours, was it altogether? But like, it just shows like how stupid some people are, and how the Soviet Union, they controlled everything. You could see it in the thing. They controlled, especially when that thing came off and they had the meeting at the start,
Yeah.
and like the old guy comes in and like cut off the telephone thingies. No one's allowed to leave the town.
Oh yeah, the old
We
man,
will
right?
be what's called on it. I'm like, no.
You know what I found funny about him was when the bosses came to take him away, he was the very first person to get in.
Which one?
The old man. The one in the meeting room, he stand up, said,
The one with walking stick.
yeah. He was the first person who got in the bus and get the fuck out. I found it quite a bit funny.
But the guy in the control room, the guy with the mustache.
Oh yeah.
He
I
just
mean,
wanted
all
a
of them
promotion.
had mustaches. You need to be more specific.
No, shit. No, the young guy.
The old guy.
The
Young
really
guy?
old guy with the mustache, the
Oh,
one in
yeah,
charge.
yeah, I
He
know.
was such a prick. He just wanted what's it called, a promotion, I think it was, and then everything just.
He just
fucked up.
wanted to finish the test. He didn't even care if the results were good or not.
And
Yeah.
all the others, you could feel it like, no, don't do it. And
No,
like,
don't do it. You're doing too. I mean, look. The thing is,
just fuck up.
they didn't expect their button to work, right? AZ5 or A5.
Oh,
They had this
AZ5,
button.
yeah.
AZ5. They expected that to work. So it was, if the shit hits the fan, they can just click it.
Yeah.
It'll all be good. And Soviet Union fucked that up. I mean, they think pretty nihilistically. If you think about it, why worry about something that's not gonna happen? and it did fucking happen.
But then when it did happen, and it's like everyone stay calm.
Everyone stay calm.
Get the fuck out of there.
Nothing blew up.
And he's
Hey,
like,
go to the room where it just blew up.
Yeah,
and
go to
look.
that room, go to that water room, and bloody fix it up. And like, and all of them are shaking. I'm like, fuck me.
And the thing is, these are like your average Joe, right? These were scientists. They know what the fuck they were doing. They know about the
Yeah.
radiation.
Oh fuck me. Thing is, like, when it blew up, and they were saying it was going to towards Germany. The wind.
Yeah, it was going toward Germany, yeah.
And I'm like, because Chernobyl is north of Ukraine, and it's
Yeah.
going west. My grandparents are born in Stri, right? That is west of Ukraine. And if the wind was blowing that way,
Yeah.
towards Germany, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
My mom was born in there. Like, my grandparents are like, shit, this could have been like the biggest disaster in history.
Well,
It's fucking. But like, didn't you find it scary?
no.
Especially when the radiation got to the bodies and everything.
Nah. Not really. Not me. I mean, the movie really tried to make it scary with the radiation sound keep going higher and higher and higher and more frequency. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just a movie after all, based on what happened.
No, but it did happen though. Like, fuck, man, that's loud. But it did happen. That's the thing. Like when.
Yeah, it happened, but it happened 40 years ago. People, I mean, Chernobyl is one of the reasons why we don't have as many nuclear power plants anymore.
Don't lie. You searched up where it was in recent, like,
Well,
where was the what's it called? The nearest nuclear power plant.
no, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
I think everyone.
No, because look. Chernobyl happened about 40 years ago with 40 years ago technology, with the 40 years ago safety stops and all that. I mean, your phone is more capable than the computers that were using at Chernobyl. So I'm not really worried about that. They have a lot of safe gates. And the thing is, your boss can't come to your room and say, do it, or you will never work again in your entire life.
It was quite scary though for me.
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, what?
Because it happened.
Maybe it's more.
happened.
Maybe it's more scary for you because you could have been, your parents could have been infected by it.
No, but like you see Game of Thrones, like that's made up. You know it is, but like when it's like when it exploded and the people on the bridge, they're looking at it,
Yeah.
and you can see the slow motion of the what's it called, the particles coming in.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they're breathing it in. I'm like, fuck, because like everyone died and they called it the Bridge of Death.
Yeah.
That's quite scary. I'm like, shit. They didn't even know this can happen, and they're like breathing this shit in, and they're gone basically. It's a slow, painful death.
My favorite part was the miners.
Oh, that was when they got bollock naked.
It got bought nigga. I was like, oh man.
That was like a moment was like very funny. That was just.
It's very
like,
funny, but
look,
it was really
fucked
sad.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we're fucked already. And they're
I
just
mean,
bollock naked.
might as well get cool down a bit.
Yeah, because they weren't allowed fans inside because they were breathing that dirt in. And he's like going to the stuff. I'm like, what the fuck are we breathing in anyway? What's the point? Just they got.
What's the point?
It was one of those moments all like comedic. It was funny.
I mean, you're not breathing in. I mean, they're miners. They've been breathing air, breathing dirt for all their life. He said
Yeah.
it, but
especially at the start when they're all black. And
Yeah.
like they tapping the guy on the shoulder.
yeah, that
I was a bit funny as well. I'm like,
funny.
and
Now
he's
you look
just-
like a
he's just
coal
looking
minister.
yeah, he's looking like ugh. Minus. But can you imagine like if people ask you, like if people asked you to dig up this, look in our generation. Do you think anyone will put their hand up and say, "I'll do it for the country"?
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't know if anybody else will.
Exactly.
But I'll do it. I mean,
so many
look,
pussies these days.
so many, yeah.
Not like the Russian Soviet Union where everyone's like a community. Like, yeah, we'll do it for Lenin and his bloody
Oh,
thing.
That's the problem.
So many pussies these days. You won't find
I
anyone
mean-
doing that. Raising their hand up, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna help the country. I'm gonna help Europe.
Yeah. No, they're
You
not.
have
They're
what?
not. They're not
No
like-
one.
Look. The thing is, people aren't as connected anymore.
Nah.
I mean, we have all this social media connecting people. I mean, from 30 years ago, you
Never.
met once, but you're not really connected. I mean, back then, if you would volunteer, because I mean, if you didn't, your children, your friends' children,
You did.
no, not necessarily dead. I mean, killing dead, but I mean, they could be infected 20, 30 years ago, die of ass
Yeah.
cancer. So, and there was this like patriotism. Lately, patriotism is being shown as bad.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, think of people like make America great again. How they're always seen bad. I mean, they're seen as patriotic,
Yeah.
and then they're shown as racist, bigots.
With the red caps on.
Yeah, you see,
Yeah.
it's like a different line. Patriotism was a lot bigger back then, and it's not as much in Australia, especially. Think about it, like, for example, why would the India guy volunteer? For example, he has no bond with here. He has no bond with the people. He has no bond with the country. He has no bond with the people. He could just, I'm getting the fuck out of it. Going back to India.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean, why would the Persian guy volunteer? He just say, oh, fuck off, I'm going back to Iran.
Yeah.
Or I'm going back to Europe. Why would they
Fuck it.
care? So that was something interesting that they volunteered 3 people.
To go what did I do?
They stopped the water.
Yeah. They had to turn something.
Yeah.
But when they were shaking and the torch wasn't working, like,
Yeah.
fuck. And they somehow got it work because radiation. You can.
Yeah, I think it was one of these torches where you keep
Shake it.
wanking it a bit and then it just starts walking.
It was like a turning one. It was like
Yeah.
It was one of those weird ones. But they weren't like divers. They were just scientists and like.
Scientists.
And they were
Who
shaking.
just walked there? I mean,
Fuck. It was just.
yeah.
It was just surreal because this actually
It
happened.
was interesting though.
Is that the first time you heard of it?
Chernobyl? Like what?
Like first time you knew what happened?
Oh no, I knew how it happened before.
Same, but like, I have to watch this because like they went in full depth and like how they treated the scientists back then. They're like, nah, fuck you.
I mean, that's still how
Nah,
we.
fuck
No,
you.
this is still how we treat scientists. They've been shouting they've been screaming for the past 10 years, global warming, and what have we done? Jack shit. So it's still the same way we're treating them.
No, I think it's just global warming. I think that's just one thing, but like they didn't trust scientists because like they didn't like, especially when they reported it to the world. They said, "Oh, it's nothing bad." They said the scale of 3.6 was it or something like that?
Yeah, that was the highest. That was the
How
equivalent-
high? 3.6.
That's not too bad.
It could be 1,000, but it's the highest the scale can go.
The highest the skill can go. It's not that bad.
I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And and it took ages for them to report. I'm like, I think that's why the Soviet Union like crashed out after.
I mean, failure would result in your death if you think about it. I mean, they were afraid. I mean,
To report to the world.
yeah, report even to the superior.
They fucked up. Yeah, exactly.
Even the lowest guy, he could get fucked by a superior. I mean,
Nobody
wanted.
truth,
yeah,
yeah.
nobody wanted to say the truth. I mean, nobody want to say I shit the bed.
No.
Especially when you say you shit the bed, you just get a bullet to the head.
But like, that woman scientist, she wasn't she was just an actor. She wasn't there in real life, but she was like, she knew so much and like, the others were so. What are you doing here? You don't know anything, but she knew everything more.
Yeah. Was there a woman like that in
No.
the real event? No. So just
she's like, yeah.
propaganda then.
What was propaganda?
She's just leftist propaganda about how women are powerful.
No. There were like so many scientists that were like her, but they only decided to have one.
They could have. Look, so I saw like in the end, you saw a picture of all the scientists there, and if we look, there were a couple of women in there. Why didn't they show those women, but then made up a character to show as a woman being a scientist, even though there were
I think
scientists?
just to show respect.
Yeah, but why make something up
But they
when
didn't make
there's
it
a
up.
real thing there?
They didn't make it. I think it's just the name that was different.
I never read about a woman like actually being there. I mean, I saw the scientist woman in the last picture. Do you see there's like 3 or 4 of them, but they didn't show any of them, any of those 4 women or any of those entire science group that helped them. They just showed those 2 people, the made up woman
Yeah. What's
and the
that?
actual
Yeah.
guy.
But you remember they had the board meeting and everyone was a man. It was like Boris and who's the other one called with the glasses?
I don't know. Names were too hard for me to remember.
The glasses guy. I forgot his name. But it was
Yeah.
so many men and she was the only woman, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, all right, fair enough.
I don't think that was real though.
No, she wasn't real, but she was trying to do what the scientists were trying to
Yeah.
do back to that. But even when, like, going back to the fucking what's it called, the radiation, when they were lying in bed behind the plastics and they had, their bodies were like,
Fuck.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, that's how radiation is, man.
I've never seen.
Look, if
anything like
if
it.
you get exposed to that amount of radiation, you should just grab a gun and then eat a bullet. Just end it. There's no
exactly.
way out.
That's why I'm so surprised. Why do you have a slow, painful death? Because basically, everything's fucked, but the brain and the heart and the brain. I think that's it.
They're barely working, yeah, and they can't.
That's it. But everything is else. Like,
everything
you
else
can't
is
walk,
fucked, yeah.
and they're just lying there.
And they
like,
just lie there,
slow,
and
painful.
nobody does anything. I'm like, just fucking kill him. It's mercy. It's from Soviet Russia. Come on, what the fuck, man?
True Geordie called it. It looked like pizza, and I'm like, that's so true.
Fuck.
No, he wasn't being like a comedian, but yeah, because it was like, it looked burnt so much. It looked cheese.
Okay. Don't ruin pizza for me, please.
No.
I like pizza too much. But yeah, like
But it
cheesy pizza. White
And I think
pizza.
the director, he said that they couldn't go any further, so it was more bad than what they showed.
I guess it would traumatize.
It
people,
was.
right?
So they went as far as they can go, and that was still horrific.
Could be worse.
And then the girlfriend touching his hand, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Even though the doctor specifically told her, don't
Yeah.
fucking do. Look, because they got radiation, I think their immune system is a lot weaker. So by touching and kissing him, she's making it worse. She's making his death a lot longer and a lot painful because there's like all the fucking.
She was told so many times not
Yeah.
to fucking touch him. And the hug at the start, and then when she was touching his hand, going
And then
through
kissed
the
his
plastic.
hand.
Yeah, kissed it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's alive today, actually. But she was pregnant at the time,
Yeah.
and they said that the child didn't last 4 hours. Because I
Right.
think the radiation, it didn't go to her body, it went to the child's body.
The baby
To
absorbs
the baby,
it,
yeah. Baby absorbed it. But she's living now, and she's got a son. He's still living, so it must be like, what, 10, 20 years old, 10, 30, 20 years old, and they're fine. So, lucky.
They can't. The baby might not be so fine though. I mean, that amount of
Well,
radiation.
she's got a boy now. She's lived up to this date, so
Yeah.
he might be fucked in the future, but at least he can live for further.
Yeah. It's okay. Chernobyl. I would give it a 3 out of 5. We are movie critics now as well. If you didn't know, it's a soccer channel, it's a podcast channel, and we review movies and series from now on.
No, like, I think I found it so cool because I'm from Ukraine. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why.
Maybe that's why, yeah.
And it wasn't made up, but like, especially at the end when they had the courts, and the guy with the glasses. How did I forget his name? Because Boris was the guy from the government.
I don't remember any of them.
Boris with the grey hair.
I don't know any of the names. Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
No,
Boris.
I can't go out without not knowing his name. It'll kill me. It'll kill me. Because Boris was the one from the government, and with the grey hair.
The hard ass, right?
The what?
The hard ass who became soft ass in the field later on.
He became mates with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And he
So
was
much
so like ignorant at the start, but like he started to grow with them. They started to become mates.
Man.
Oh fuck! I can't forget his name. Fuck! Where is it?
You found him?
No.
Just like search Chernobyl. And then search Chernobyl, then write IMDb. It should give you the list of the cast.
There it is. I forgot it. Okay. Yeah, Craig Mazin was the director. Jared Harris. I think it's him.
That's his name.
Jared
That's
Harris,
his
okay.
That's his real name.
That's his real name. What's his character?
Let me see, man.
Wikipedia. What does it say? It starts with V.
Valerie? I mean, here it is.
Valery Legasov. That's the one. Yeah, Valery Legasov, Boris Shabina, Emily Watson, Juliana Komyuk. Yeah, she was just. Yeah, that's.
Oh
her
wait,
name.
actually search if the woman was real person there or not.
Yeah, Juliana Komyuk is a fictional composite character who Watson says represents the many scientists who worked fearlessly and put themselves in a lot of danger to help solve the situation. So she was just representing them.
But why would you make up a made-up character when there are actual women working there? I don't get it. I mean, they're trying to show women as powerful and
Well,
respectful
I don't think they are.
and
I think
unreachable intelligence.
I think they just did it.
Because it is otherwise. But at the same time, they're discrediting women by making a fictional character. Show the actual women who were helping. Fuck's sake, man. Where are the feminists when you need them? Made up character.
I don't think they were thinking about it. I think they're just like, all right, here's a lady, scientist.
Yeah, you guys can shut the fuck up now.
Well, they didn't listen
look,
to her anyway.
Look, there's a woman in our movie. Now you can stop talking.
Fuck's sake.
No, I'm salty because there were actual women there helping. They should have put them in. I think they deserved at least that much, you know. The very minimum is to actually.
She was representing them.
She was representing jack shit. She didn't exist.
She did help solve it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the KGB, the Russian Soviet police, they locked her up for. Because remember, she's like.
She wasn't real, man. It's just in the movie. It's
not in
the real.
No, but the scientists were real.
The scientists were real.
The way she acted was real.
Well, they should have showed the scientists. They should have showed the fucking scientists instead of some made-up character. This is supposed to be.
But then you're unfair then, because if you do 12 scientists, if you do one of them, then you're not showing respect to other 12. If you do a made-up character, they're not representing
Didn't show all 12 of them. HBO.
That's a lot.
HBO has the resources. Look.
Yeah, they do. But
look.
that's a lot
Instead of showing the guy who couldn't kill the dog.
I
Maybe they should have put the scientists in.
I skipped that 2 minutes.
I don't watched it all. I think that was the only painful part of it. The dogs, man.
I like that bit. So I skipped that 1-2 minutes that when I did it, like when they were just out. But it's crazy because animals still live there.
Still live there, yeah. I mean, you can't kill all of them.
But they're still alive. I don't know if they're healthy.
Oh, the radiation affected them 100%.
Yeah, but I don't know. They're still alive, which is so.
Oh, look, you can be alive. You can live there, but the radiation.
But they're
will
on the ground.
affect
That's
you.
the thing. They're on the ground. Air is nothing these days. You can go to Chernobyl now and visit.
You have to wear.
It's just the grass and the ground is fucked.
You have to wear specific things, man. I mean, it's not nothing. It still will affect you. You just need to have your proper equipment.
No, you can still visit. You can visit them, but they go through a scanner because if you are tick, you have to take some tablets.
Yeah, so it's still affecting you.
But not many people get affected by it. But I was wondering, like, should I go there?
No, don't.
It's fucked
Look,
up.
it's a risk. I mean, imagine
It's
20
a
years
massive risk.
later you get ass cancer because you just went to Chernobyl. Look, it won't be safe for human for at least another 2,000 years. No, 20,000 years.
I think the airs are right.
It's not about it's about the ground. You
The
can't
ground.
walk on something. It's gonna give you radiation. You sit on something, it's gonna give you ass radiation.
If you go into buildings, they're like their equipment stuff, their firemen's equipment still there. Did you see that part?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There's like pictures, like all the equipment are still there. Nothing's been touched. I'm like, fuck, this is gonna stay here forever.
Not forever until it degrades and breaks down.
Well, how long would that take?
I don't know.
Because it's inside. It's not like outside.
Doesn't matter. There's still microorganism. It's there on it. It will slowly eat it. I mean, look, we have bacteria who can eat plastic. So it can eat it. It's just gonna take a long time.
Long time.
Maybe about 200 years. The buildings aren't gonna last forever either. They need to be constantly maintained, otherwise they would fall down.
I mean, unless an earthquake happens.
No, it's concrete is not as strong.
But it's big buildings though, so
Yeah,
it's got
exactly.
stable.
Look, even like a little bit of it, it slowly just degrades. Even like one of the main support of it just like breaks down or something, the whole building is gonna come down, or part of it is gonna come down,
One of those stumps just
and
breaks
that
down.
will take the rest of it down. If it falls onto another building is gonna go down.
Yeah, it's true because all of them got evacuated. Like,
Evacuated immediately.
I was no, it wasn't immediate. It was like because everyone was still living there like 2 days after, and they said I think 40 hours. Was it 40 hours? Or maybe longer.
Yeah,
3 days.
3 days.
I think it was 3 days, and everyone got evacuated with buses and everything. And it said, leave your pets, leave your.
Oh, it's temporary. We'll be back.
Yeah,
Don't worry
temporary.
about
We'll be
it.
back. No.
Don't worry about it. It's nothing. Temporary.
They said that to them, and they said carry all the clothes for 3 days or something like that.
Yeah.
They'd
It's
never
just
be
it's just
back.
traveling, pack for a road trip.
A road trip. Fuck me. Oh fuck.
All right, what's your score out of 5?
5. Like a 4.3.
I'll give it a 3.5.
3.5.
3.5. Yeah. It was good, but
Maybe it's my emotional thing. That
yeah, maybe it's because of that. I felt like the story was dragging a bit, and I really disliked that they made up a fictional character to represent all the women when they were real women.
Stop going on with that.
And look, they put this scene about how this soldier were killing dogs. I mean,
didn't
that
happen.
wasn't really. Yeah, it did happen, but it wasn't as. They spent too much time on them.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think they spent way too much.
I think they
time
wanted
on
to
it.
show exactly what happened and what they
No.
had to do.
They didn't
as
do.
much
They
as
didn't do a
possible.
good job then, because they didn't
Yeah, I
show
think-
everything happen. They neglected certain parts in favor of other emotional parts, and that's what turned me off.
Like what?
Again, the dog scene. I mean, okay, I get it. Killing dogs is horrible,
It had
but
to
they
happen, though.
they spend way too much time. Look, we already saw the guy came in, shot the dog, tried to fear it, like scare it. He shot him in the stomach. He couldn't pull the second trigger. And then later on, we see him going to another building with there were puppies and a dog, and he still couldn't pull the trigger. I think the second one was unnecessary. The first one was enough. Yeah, we get
Yeah.
it. Killing dogs is horrible. You can't do it. Second part was, I mean, you already established that killing dog is a horrible thing to do. It's really hard. People can't do it. It was unnecessary. And that's what I mean. It dragged on.
I agree with you that bit, but I think all the rest had to be included because,
Yeah.
like the court, like they were sort of agreeing with them, but they didn't agree with them, and then he got imprisoned because he said something about the truth, had to go out.
They didn't go to prison. They just live on and seeing lesser men take
Yeah.
credit for the shit you did. Fair enough. I mean, it's
Valeri.
KGB. What do you expect?
KGB, yeah, because I think they were from the 50s and up to the 90s when the Soviet Union, and they were like the Soviet. They were like what's the Nazis called? The Nazi police. What's that?
SS?
Huh? Yeah. Oh, it was the SS and it was someone else. It starts with G. They gotta go. Fuck. Oh,
I don't know.
it's SS. You're right. And there was another one. Nazi secret police. Gestapo.
Gestapo. Oh yeah.
The Gestapo.
Yeah,
That's right. So that was similar to that, where they were listening to every conversation, being spies. Remember when Boris and Valeria were walking outside alone in
Yeah.
public, and there was 2 people
Yeah.
on the grass sitting?
Showing themselves. Yeah. That was pretty
That was
obvious.
That was and they were just walking and they were following them.
I don't think KGB would work that obviously.
They would look, but they were looking at everyone and
Yeah.
listening to everyone, and censorship in newspapers. Oh my god!
Even the manual on the
manual. How sure the manual was. Oh, you do this and this will be alright. It was lies. That was
Everything
Valeria
was
in Valeria's word. It was lies. All lies. That manual,
I
what
mean-
it's called, the AZ5.
thing is at 5.
I asked my mum, because she was born in the 70s in Stri, and I asked my mum, how was the news reported like this week? And she's like, no one knew what happened. I'm like, fuck. She's like, no, we didn't hear anything. We heard that it was exploded, but we didn't hear anything like
Yeah, of course.
how bad it was.
Why would they know? Why would they know?
And I'm like, fuck me, that the censorship. No one knew fuck. And this could have like cured the whole of Europe, like they said. Like,
Probably more.
probably more, but like, like shit. Just the ignorance, the self-importance, and when they what's it called? They got the robot from West Germany.
Yeah.
They're rivals because East Germany was Russia.
Yeah, West
Western
Germany. Yeah,
America.
it's,
I'm like, imagine asking like your enemy. Oh,
and it doesn't work
pretty
anyway.
please. I know it was like.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, I don't know what they expected because earlier the scientists said anything more complicated than a light switch will not work there, and then they sent the robot there to do their work. I mean,
Well, the first one worked, and they were like hugging, like they were smiling, like yes. But they got another one, and like they were controlling the buttons, like, and it just, and they're like, and he's like, we need bionic robots, and he's
Yeah.
like, bionic robots, and I'm like, humans. We're gonna send humans, like shit. And they were like going with 90 seconds in and out, like, why did you do that 90 seconds? You're dead already.
No, they're not. No, it's about the amount of exposure you get. The longer, the worse it becomes. But 90 seconds is the absolute max before you start getting fucked. You're still gonna get cancer in about 30 years.
But they were
or
like
something.
rotating. I'm like,
Yeah.
what if you just rotate 6 people because it was 3 at a time, and then just
Oh
keep
no,
going?
no, because like you would go up, do your job, and then you would get the fuck out. You will not come back again. I think.
But you're already you're already like affected by it.
Oh no, it's gonna leave
It
your
could be
body
yeah.
eventually. That's why they were rotating. You would go 90 seconds, you do it, you come back, take your tablet, rest a bit. Maybe a couple of days later, when the radiation is less, it leaves your body. You go up and do it again.
They had 400 people, was it? Going in and
No,
out.
it was more. It was way more.
Yeah,
I thought it was in thousands.
maybe. But remember the guy fell down, and what's it called got his shoe.
Oh,
I'm like, shit, what have you done? And he's like panicking, like, get the fuck out of there. That was just.
All right, let's stop with this.
Stop.
Let's stop with Chernobyl.
You don't want to talk about the Russian government, how they were
Oh.
ignorant pieces of shit.
It's in the past. It's finished.
It
It's
happened,
done.
though. It happened.
It happened, but it's finished now. We learned our lessons.
Did we?
Dictatorships is not a good way of controlling people. Especially with fear. If you do something with fear, I mean, yeah,
You're not gonna go far.
you're not gonna get far because the lower people, the working people, are gonna be too afraid to admit their mistakes.
Yeah, because like the top people, like they were going back to the lower guys, like the working class. I'm like, look, we fucked you over, but can you please help us? That was a bit like, why would they? Why should they repay them? Like, yeah, but that's how they lived.
Yeah, they lived. It's alright.
USSR. Fuck. What else you want to talk about, mate?
Let me tell you this. Remember last, or maybe 2 weeks ago, you asked about the maddest thing I've seen?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I already got one. A week after, I was walking the train station, and I saw this black guy in his pajamas, right? Like, he's old. He's like about, let's say 60, 50. Yeah, he has white
Pajamas.
hair. Pajamas, yeah. And then he turned around, looked to the street, and his pants has like these buttons where you can open and your ass would come out so you can take your shit. And his thing was open, and he was out of it. He was out of it. I mean, I don't think he even knew he was out in the street. He sat down, he took a shit, stood up, he took a shit in front of a special needs school.
What time was this?
About 1 week after.
Like, what time of the day though?
In the morning. Like, imagine something around 11, 10. There were cars were coming in front of him, like this was a street. This was a street, this was where he was. This is the school, this is the walkway. He took a shit right over here. He stood up, he kept walking, he didn't have shoes. His shirt was all, the buttons were open. I mean, he was out of it. I don't know if he was on drugs or he was delusional. Or he was just out of the night. And that's not even the first time I've seen him. No, I've seen him before, like couple of times.
In his pajamas.
Couple of times, yeah. My mom takes me like from my home to the train
Yeah.
station and drops me off, and I've seen him couple of times,
In his
just walking
pajamas.
in his pajamas, yeah, with his ass all open, and I told my mom, and he said, yeah, you know, I've seen him. The police one time. My mom said the police. What the fuck was that?
Excuse me. Keep going. Pajamas, guy.
My mom said one time 3 police officers, right? One person took his left hand, one person took his right hand, and one person with a fire hose was just putting water on him in the morning.
Wake up! Wake up!
Yeah, like really, I was like, that can't be legal. That's not.
Hang on, the police did it. Are they?
Yeah, the police were holding him like he was on. My mom said he was on his knees. The police were standing him up, and then someone was just watering him in the morning, like in those like 6 degrees in the morning. It was like very cold,
Fresh cold.
fresh cold. I was like, that can't be legal. Why the fuck were they doing that? Think about it. Why would a police officer do that? I mean,
No, that is fucked up.
yeah.
Well, I seen something the other day. I was in the city, obviously Thursday night for my birthday, and I'm just walking past by myself, and this guy's he's got a singlet on a corner of Collins Street,
Right.
just waving a belt around on his own, a belt, like long belt. And I'm like, because I have to walk past him, like, shit, what's gonna happen? Like anything could happen. And the police come up as I'm walking towards him. The police is coming across the road, running towards him, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna witness the most weirdest shit ever, right? So I'm walking, and the police get there before I do. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
whew, I feel a bit safer now. But he's waving around, and it's like, and they're like really aggressive towards him, like, put that belt down. What the hell are you doing? And I think he's off his tits, right? He's just waving his belt around, and he's like, no. Why? No, like, you know, he's really, like, it looked pissed, but he's just waving his belt around, and he puts it down like, what do you want? And the belt, and they come closer to him with a bit of a spray. They didn't spray him, but they were showing power, right? And I just walked past him, like, just keep walking.
I have to ask though.
It's fucked.
Is that illegal? Waving your belt around?
No, because it was like, why the fuck are you waving that belt around?
Yeah, but is that illegal? Because if it's not illegal, police
Well,
can't
it
do
is
anything.
It is
about
dangerous to the people.
Was anybody around?
Well, it was in the city.
Was there a lot of people?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Enough to cause harm to others. And he's on
Yeah.
the corner next to a road just waving about. Who knows why? He was just shouting to himself, looked like it.
Maybe he's drunk. Maybe he got some of that good meth.
I could smell weed while I was walking past him there.
Weed, yeah, all right, yeah. I don't think weed's gonna have that effect. Oh, I read about these Israel cigarettes which has cocaine in them when you smoke it.
Israel? I haven't heard about this.
No, it's like Israel. They call it Israeli cigarettes, right?
Is it from Israel or no?
No, it's not. No, it's just a name.
Aussie cigarettes from Brasilia.
Yeah, well, for whatever reason, like
Yeah.
there's tobacco and there's cocaine in it. And so when you smoke it, you smoke cigarette and cocaine. And
At once.
At
Holy
once.
Shit.
but how does that work? Because I think if you heat up cocaine, it just all the chemical reaction will just go fucked.
But you're also putting it in your mouth.
Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty interesting that I read that on it.
How much is it?
becoming
Like,
trending.
how big are the cigarettes?
It's just like a cigarette.
The normal cigarettes?
It's
So
like normal cigarette. They take out some of the tobacco
Yeah.
and put cocaine in it.
That is fucked.
Full disclosure, I've never seen this, but you know, it's becoming very popular out here in Australia. I mean, people always will find a way to make some new
doof.
drugs. Yeah. So the reason I've read this is regarding those festival things, right? Because there's a lot of drugs happening in festivals. So these people are putting this cocaine and going in there. It's just fucking cigarette. Your dog's off his fucking mind, you know.
Give it to a What do you mean?
No, like you know how they have dogs smelling you for drugs.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So the dog will smell you and they're like, hey, you have something on you. They search you, they finger your ass, they find nothing.
Finger your ass.
Yeah, I've read they can finger your ass. They just to check for drugs, you know. If the dog smells it, they can finger your asshole. Yeah, it's becoming very popular. You smoke it, you go off your bonkers, you know.
Cheapers. All right, actually, let's look at current news, right? Have you heard of Tegan Martin?
No. Who is
Fit.
that?
Fit model.
Is that the one who went to Chernobyl?
No.
I read a bunch of Instagram influencers are going to Chernobyl to pose and shit.
Influencers.
That's a new way
Taking
of
photos. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So many people died in taking selfies in front of the reactor thermal full. Like, piece of shit. Anyway, this girl,
Yeah.
woman actually, she was once Miss Universe of Australia, so the most prettiest girl, right?
Right.
I think that's what it's about. She's in Bali, right? She's left stranded,
Yeah.
and because her password is damp, like wet damp, and she cannot get out of Bali. So she's now, distressed. She can't get out.
Just give the guy a blowjob. I'll let you go. I'll give him
in
500
Bali, bro,
bucks.
dodgy.
No. Look. Indonesian police and their airport staff are a bit, how do you say it? Money-loving pieces of shit.
Yeah, definitely.
So, look, the important part of a passport, which is your ID, your name, your picture, is in plastic, and the rest that is in paper is when you put your visa on.
She's showing it here. She's got actually just a bit of watermark on the edge there. Just not the whole thing is damp.
It doesn't matter. That should be fine.
And she's like, wasn't allowed on my flight due to this watermark in the corner of my passport. Has this happened to anyone else? That's if it's just a little bit on the corner.
Just look. I'm gonna give you some real advice.
I mean,
Just go there. Just go there. Like, put a $500 in your passport, and then give the passport to the guy. The guy opens the passport, sees the money, puts the money in his pocket. You're good to go. Nice and easy. Because I'll be honest, that's what my dad did when we went to Indonesia. The officer was giving us shit. He's saying, "Oh, you're Persian. You can't let you go. You did this. Your countrymen did that," with his shitty Indonesian accent. And then my father was like, "Look, man, let's just cut to the chase. How much?" And he said, 500. You go right now. I take taxi for you as well.
Yeah.
He even got us a fucking first class taxi, for free. Just give a little bit of money. Problem solved.
Money talks.
Money talks.
I mean, if you caught that, that's illegal anyway to you.
Doesn't matter. If
No one knows.
your superior cuts you, let's say you're an officer, your superior cuts you, just give him the 50%. Problem solved.
Just keep throwing the money in.
Yes. 'Cause I remember I used to like ride around the bike and always had like about like $10
Mhm.
in my pocket anytime. If in case police stop me, I just give them $10. I'm good to go. That's how everybody like all the Persians, Arabs, Afghan,
Yeah.
everybody who was Indonesia did that. Police stopped them, just give them money. You're good to go, mate.
That is such
So-
a corrupt society. Imagine if that
Hey,
happened like in America.
Think about it. I mean, it promotes growth of the economy.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's 500. Look, you give $500. There's $500 in their economy now. I mean, what were you gonna do with that $500?
I mean, that's how economy goes. You buy, you sell.
Buy yourself. But if someone happens to gift you a little bit of money, that's still a growth in their economy. Just throw them. Just throw them some money. Money talks in Indonesia.
Money talks in Qatar. Have you heard about the FIFA World Cup in Qatar?
No, I've read that Qatar is not letting planes go to Iran
Maybe.
because of
Well, that could be
because of the America
war.
ban.
But anyways, obviously FIFA, they were like, all right, which country wants to host the World Cup? Yeah, which country wants to have it? And Qatar obviously gave so much billions to
Billion.
give it to us. And they're building stadiums where so many people are dying because of their working conditions. And now I think the president Platini got arrested the other day for like corruption or something like. And everyone's like in the comments, ooh, like pretending we're shocked. Like, yeah, wow, we didn't know this was gonna happen.
Fucking hell, mate.
Fucking guitar
hell.
riffing. He's trying to show off, is he?
Yeah.
Hope this doesn't pick up this time. Sorry if you can hear anything.
It definitely picked that up.
It
Definitely did pick that up.
Big spike.
Yeah.
It's so much corruption in the bloody Middle East, and it's a fucking dodgy place.
Yeah, Indonesia, Vietnam,
Middle East.
China. It's everywhere. Even in Canada. The Canada office are like their what do you call that? Their security, right? They can detain you indefinitely.
What do you mean?
You know, when you go through the border,
Yeah.
if they feel like you're a security risk, if they feel like they can hold you indefinitely until they confirm otherwise or find enough evidence to prosecute you.
Oh, but
They can.
Everyone does that, doesn't it?
No, not other country has unlimited power. For example, if you go to Canada, like you're about to cross the border legally, you have a visa, you have everything. The guy says, "Open up your phone. I want to search your phone." You say, "I'm not doing that." They say, "That's fine, no problem. Stay here. Go into this room." They can grab the phone from you forcefully. Go open it up. If they can't open it up, send it to a higher up, send it to the RT department, and you have to just stay in that room until they open the fucking phone, or you just give them the password.
This sounds like something will happen in Africa.
Yeah, I know, but
Canada.
even in Canada, because the border
Where have you read this? Because I don't want to.
after 9/11, because of the security threat, they gave them unlimited power, and the only thing that stops them is their ethics. Each officer has, they have unlimited power. They can do that. They did it to a lawyer who was crossing from America to Canada, and he said, "I can't open my phone because there's privileged information there," and they just hold him there indefinitely. And then they decided to deport him. They deported him back to America, but didn't give him his phone back.
Does it only happen America to Canada or all flights?
Anything. The border security has unlimited power in terms of people coming in, and technically you have no rights under Canada. You're you're foreigner. You have no rights, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can't do it to another Canadian because Canadians have rights there, but you're an Australian, you ain't got shit.
I haven't heard of this, but if it is true, allegedly, obviously,
Yeah.
we don't know. But if that's what you heard, anything that's true, I mean,
Yeah, it got pretty big like 2 months ago in the news. This guy was a lawyer. They couldn't I've told this story, but it got pretty big. That's how I heard it.
yeah. What about that one that went to Canada? Was it a comedian? And he made a bad joke about those progressives.
Oh yeah.
And he got fined for it or something like that, or jailed. Fined or jailed. It was one of them.
Oh yeah, because Canada has this
There's rules.
anti-discrimination and hate speech law, which pretty much means if you say something that somebody else doesn't like, you hate speeching, and they can fine you for that.
You're a microphone. I hate you.
Yep, that's hate speech. Fucking piece of shit.
Stop heating up, you fucking
Stop,
microwave.
bigoter.
Bigot. I
Fucking
think that's
bigotry.
I bet you that word is not allowed in Canada.
No,
Canada.
No,
Yeah,
my
no,
favorite part is
shit.
they say, in the defense of this, they say, "Oh, you have freedom of speech. Doesn't have freedom from consequences."
But you can't say this.
No, but freedom of speech literally means freedom from consequences. What are these
There's
people
never freedom
on?
of speech, though. There's never.
There's no freedom of speech.
Any country. Australia,
Or maybe America.
Maybe.
It's better than Canada, at least.
I think America, Australia is the most you can go.
Most you can go, yeah.
Other countries like the fucking jail time or the back.
Well, I mean,
The forehead gone.
in China, if you talk about the square that nothing happened there, you can lose all your
Chernobyl will
access.
still come alive.
What
and
was
kill
it?
you, mate.
1989?
What was?
The square. There was like something happened in like this guy walked in front of a tank, and it wouldn't let the military pass in China, like in '89, I think.
And what happened? The tank just rolled over him?
No, no, people came and like civilians came and caught him and took him away before he got in trouble.
Oh, civilians took him away, not
Yeah,
the
no, civilians just ran and helped him, and it became really big.
I haven't heard about that.
You heard about Hong Kong? The protest happening right now?
The what?
Hong Kong protests. There's like 2 million people in the street protesting.
About what?
About Chinese government. About this law, how they can take people to mainland and persecute them and shit like that.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. It's really big.
Oh shit, Hong Kong protest, what's this?
Like,
Thousands surround police headquarters. Thousands again hit Hong Kong streets. Scoffing in Singapore, praising Philippines. Fuck me.
yeah, there's a lot of people.
Hey, what are they protesting about? It's definitely. Oh, it says the youth here. Nearly 2 million.
Yeah.
What's this?
And you need to consider like the entire population of Hong Kong. It's not that much.
Oh, true. It's only a couple of people.
It's only a couple of million, you know. So 2 million is a lot.
Just the high school kids.
Just high school kids, yeah.
What's this? Mass turned out despite the suspension of the bill. Which what's going on here?
Yeah, so the parliament or something, they try to put a bill, and this bill is give the police like the right to take him to mainland China and persecute them and shit like that.
Okay, so the protest was peaceful, so it's alright. With police officer reported holding back to allow.
It's peaceful, but the police was beating the shit out of protesters.
Do you know what they're protesting about?
It's about the bill. I've tell you like 3 times, Daniel.
What is it?
Look, so
Sorry, brother.
the parliament is trying to pass this bill, which they've suspended indefinitely, which gives the Chinese police, the Chinese government, the right to arrest any person from Hong Kong, anywhere in the world, take them to mainland China in front of a Chinese judge, with a Chinese jury, with a Chinese attorney, Chinese everything, and basically persecute them.
Yeah.
So they're trying to control the Hong Kong like they're controlling China, and these people are not having it. It's pretty fucked.
So it's just the youth basically protesting. It sounds like it.
It's 2 million out of like 8 million, 9 million.
How much is
Maybe. How much is the population of Hong Kong? I don't really know. I'll just check it real quick. But
Melbourne is about
10 million?
Oh,
Mom was saying 10 million. That's a bit too much. Yeah. 3 or 5, yeah.
Melbourne 3 to maybe 4 to 5. Sydney's 4 to 5.
Sydney and Melbourne is pretty similar. Sydney's a little bit bigger.
Best city in the world, Melbourne. Our Melburnians.
Melbourne, yeah. We just have bipolar disease, you know, everyone.
What is?
The weather has bipolar. It's raining, it's hot, it's warm.
What's not hot? It's been 6 the last few days.
You don't know what's going on.
It's fucking freezing. Especially when they wake up in the morning.
Hong Kong.
Fresh as ice cold. Population of Hong Kong. I reckon it's about
It's
14.
7 million.
Oh, 7.
So, nearly 2 million. So that's pretty much, if you take out the young people who are below 18,
Yeah.
I mean the old people above 60 and 50, and nearly all of the population of Hong Kong is out there protesting. I mean, imagine if you're in the middle of a protest and have to take a shit. What will you do?
I've always wondered in front of a concert. At the front guy, what do you do? Do you just take a piss there? That's why I don't go.
Like I read on the internet, like the guy said, just take your pants out and take a shit. Nobody's gonna see you ever again there.
Fuck. Like you're at the front, you don't want to lose your spot. You're fucking dancing to Bon Jovi, and there's people around you like you can't go anywhere. You have to have a good piss and a shit before you go in, because you're fucked for a couple of 3 hours.
And it's so hot in there, and you have to drink water. They have security there feeding you water.
Feeding you.
Yeah, there's literally feeding. They actually have these bottles where they can push and it will throw water in your.
I've never seen that.
Never seen it. No, it's just a bottle. It's just a bottle where they can push like this and it will get water.
They're
Yeah.
like stuck in a.
Yeah.
Fuck, have you
So
ever been
much.
stuck in a concert?
No, I usually get seats.
Seats.
It's really it's really hot in the middle of them,
They're standing.
and
area.
people are autistic there. You're gonna
Mad
look
people, yeah.
your ass, your dick, your balls is all gonna get touched.
In Irfan's words, ass, dick to ass,
Dick to us, yeah.
or cock to ass, or whatever it was.
Cock to us, yeah.
Like in trains.
That's how it is, though. That's how it is. I mean, you have to say no homo and just go in. Especially in the front. I mean, they just
What? Oh yes, they just.
everybody's
Push
on
to the
top
front.
of each other. Everybody's.
It's fucking
yeah.
scary, actually. But wouldn't if you're just trapped there, like, what do you do? But
If you're trapped there,
you can't go anywhere. Like, you can only face forward.
if you're in the middle, like in the very front, you're getting pushed. You just say to security, "I need to get out," and they will just pull you out.
Fuck, mate.
Yeah, they'll pull you out. They
Yeah.
pull you out, take you across, and then you can go in the back and do whatever you want. But
Shit.
you're gonna lose your spot.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
All right. now that we know Gabriel's not here, let's talk shit about him a bit.
He's not gonna be here next time as well.
Next time as well. Wow,
That's what. I don't know why.
2 times. Why was he not here? Let me check real quick.
doesn't
Let's
He
Alanize
doesn't
his.
say, he
Let's
doesn't
just Alanize his excuse. Last time was a church thing.
No, it doesn't say. He's gonna say it next time when he was here. By the way, whoever's listening, comment who you want us to have on the guest on the podcast. I mean, we can't have Barack Obama. We can't have him. So give me some good guests. You know, like small guests that we can have on good conversation.
Small guest, yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty sure you don't want to be here every single time.
I don't mind. I don't have anything else to do. All the free time in the world.
I mean, I'm looking at a couple of guests right now. Shoot, I'm just
Who?
thinking about it. I'll tell you after, because
You
I don't
tell
want to
me
say
after.
their name. and
Okay.
then I
Yeah.
make
Oh,
them
you don't want to spoil it to them.
Of course not. I have a little surprise for the natural red subscribers, the best subscribers on earth. Fucking like the video, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Leave a review on iTunes and Spotify. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That would
So-
all be appreciated.
So here we go to analyzing Gabriel's excuses.
And
Last
text messages, let's go.
last time he said there's a church thing.
Well, yes. Come on. Let's
Thing.
move on.
No,
from
no,
there.
no. I'm putting emphasis on the thing.
Righto.
And now he has an urgent thing to take care of. Emphasis on thing. I
He's
found
gonna tell us-
that.
he's
I
gonna tell us
find
next
that.
time.
I
He's gonna
fo-
tell us.
But what next time? We won't be here next time.
Hey, that's not the last episode. Next time.
It'll be next time.
Hopefully, we're doing this in 10 years' time. I mean, still
Yeah,
jacking
10
off.
years time, yeah. Checking. Oh yeah, have you shown the subscribers me and the boys doing podcast? Picture I send you the meme.
What? Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was funny hands, man.
He doesn't say it, but it's urgent, and
It's urgent and it's a thing. It's a thing.
it could be something.
It could be something.
But is it a real thing?
It's an urgent thing. I mean, look, if he doesn't want to lie, he can just say something urgent come up, an urgent thing come up, and that urgent thing could be he needs to take a shit. That's urgent. It's an urgent thing that needs to be taken care of. Oh man.
Have you seen that trailer for yesterday, by the way?
What?
The trailer for yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah, the movie trailer. Have you heard?
Yesterday.
Yeah, it's called Yesterday.
No.
Okay, so I'll give you what the trailer says, right? I don't know much about it because I haven't seen it. I think it's out now. So the guy, I think he's Indian, but he's brown skin, right? He lives in England, right?
Right.
Just living his life. Just he wants to be a musician, but he doesn't have much skill, right? Just walking, bus hits him. He gets up, and all of a sudden he's got so many things on his mind, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, he starts playing Beatles songs on his own, and like he's like asking everyone, "Haven't you heard about the Beatles?" I'm like, "Beatle? What's that?" And he's like shocked. So he's searching on Google, and like he's like the Beatles, and like on the little bug beetle comes up, like and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And he becomes like a millionaire. Like girls are running after him, but no one's heard of the band.
Right.
I think Ed
Nice.
Sheeran's in the
Ah.
movie as well.
I don't like Ed Sheeran.
Do you like his music?
No. I got
Thing is,
turned
like-
off immediately. You said Ed Sheeran just went to war.
His music is good, but because it's played by so many virgin girls, you know what I mean? You hate it. I think if it wasn't overplayed too much, I think I would like him much more. I respect him, but I just don't listen to his music at all.
Look,
You know
I
what?
like his voice,
He's got a good voice.
but the thing is, I don't hate the guy. I just hate his
Nah.
music.
no, you can't hate him.
I
personally.
can't hate. I can't
You don't
hate
know
him.
him.
I don't fucking know him. I mean, he seems like a cool guy, but his music is always focused around girls and women, and I'm like, can we take a break for 5 minutes?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, don't start with that.
Oh, look at me! I've got a new boyfriend. Let's write a love song. Oh, he's gone. Let's write another love song because he's gone. Oh, a new boyfriend. Let's write another love song.
Oh no, you're missing one step. So, he finds a boyfriend, love song. They break up, love song.
Love song.
Now there's this moment before she
Shake it
finds
off. Shake it off.
she finds another boyfriend. He's like about how I'm gonna find a boyfriend. You're gonna miss me. And then there's another song. Oh, I found a boyfriend and he's better than you. And the
Better
next
than you.
song
He's better than you.
repeated everything again.
And recycle.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Because I remember like so many bands, like the Beatles used to write girl songs, but like, nah, this is getting old and boring. So because they started growing up and like, nah, let's write some mad shit now.
No shit, yeah.
And like I think everyone like if they're always writing girl songs, love songs, you can't always write that. You gotta sometimes change the way you write. I mean,
But
yeah.
then there's a problem that your fans like all those girl songs because your fans
Started-
are those
yeah.
girls, you know.
all those
So-
screaming teenagers.
So if you write something else, you know, your fans don't like it, you don't make money.
Ed,
You wasted your time.
Eddie, take a picture with me, please.
I don't know. No, fuck off. Ed Sheeran.
Imagine you were like surrounded with 18-year-old blondes around you screaming their tits off. Ed Sheeran! Ed! And you're like, fuck.
No. Look. I've experienced one blonde bitch, and that's fine for my entirety of my life. I'm good. I'm all good. One blonde is enough. Now I'm off blondes. Yeah. No. My new thing is now brunettes.
Brunette teen?
Yeah, brunettes are nice.
What's else in the news, bro? Fuck.
What else is in the news? Yeah, we got nothing to talk about, man.
No, we do, mate. There's plenty of it.
What?
Earthquake in France, 5.1.
Yeah,
Interesting.
not really. Not really.
Not really.
It happens all the time.
Javed's,
What else do we have there in the news?
You saved my ass. Donkey abandoned on an uninhabited island is rescued after it's spotted off in Croatia.
Okay, that's interesting. You saved my ass.
Donkey seen alone and without water on inhabited island of Ravan in Croatia. Family donkey named Mia was rescued and brought back to shore on a boat. She reportedly guzzled 10 liters of water after being left without food or shelter. Now, I respect that donkey for living.
The donkey name is Mia. Damn.
Oh, fuck.
How would you name the donkey Mia?
I think the founder like, yeah, let's call it Mia. Or, what's donkey? You should just call it donkey.
I just call it donkey.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No!
Oh man, Shrek was the man.
Shrek's the best movie ever.
Shrek is the best movie. Yeah.
In 5 minutes.
Can you just shut up for 5 minutes? We're here. That's Fiona.
Can you make that? Donkey. And we're just referring to dog. My friend can do it perfectly, like that. best podcast in the world doing donkey noises.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi was in Liverpool the other day. He was at a performance, and he's like, what's it called? He's like, shit. He's talking to the microphone, and he's like, obviously, like, there's two clubs in Liverpool,
Yeah.
like Liverpool and Everton. He's like, and they're rivals, and like, and on the hometown of European champions, and like half of the stadium is quiet because of Everton fans, and the other half is like cheering, like yeah, and like Everton fans got salty. I'm like, yes, that's right,
Salty, yeah, of course they would be salty.
salty like. Oh my gosh, fucking hell. That's it. We're gonna wrap it up there.
Wrap it up there. That was a quick one, wasn't it?
That wasn't that quick.
It's only like 50 minutes.
Nah, that's alright.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Guys, if you want me and him to answer your problem, email naturalredproblems@gmail.com.
Yeah.
It could be any problems. It could be how to pass a maths test.
Please no. Relationship problems.
Relationship.
Physics problems. Radioactive problems.
Oh my gosh. I mean, how do we advise radio? Just get to the
Just go to doctors.
just
yeah.
live life.
But if you got any relationship advice, I'm the man.
He's a man.
Yeah.
He's a man.
No, not this virgin over here.
I'm alright.
I'm alright.
Guys, if you like this podcast, smash that like button, comment down what you think. And we'll see you guys later.
Peace out.
Ta-ta, farewell.
Oh.